I'm going to post this video to help with some insight that I have about what's been going on in the world lately. And it's pretty much just going to be a summary of current events and why this is a very, very dangerous moment in American history. Being a former service member myself and being a student of the Constitution and a strategist, I see a lot of things that some people may or may not see, but send up all kinds of red flags. The first thing I'm going to address is that for a while now we have had foreign troops on our soil training in a capacity with FEMA to supply security, train for urban warfare, learn English, do checkpoint drills, and things of that nature. These troops are from places like China, Russia, Poland, the Ukraine, Serbia, and several other nations that are all working in accordance with the UN Charter. And that piece of information is very key to the rest of the things that are going on right now. We also have the disappearance of a nuke from Dyess Air Force Base, and the driver was reportedly saying that it was going to South Carolina. Then shortly after that, there's a quote on, I think it was CBS or NBC, in their online news report from Lindsey Graham, the senator of South Carolina, stating that Charleston could be the next target for a nuclear warhead from Iran or Syria. But the question there is, how did that nuclear warhead get there? Well, leaked information has already confirmed that a warhead was heading for South Carolina. Quite a coincidence. So now how did he know this information, that there would be a potential nuclear threat to Charleston? That's another question. Then we move on to the saber rattling we have over Syria between Obama and Putin. There's a lot of saber rattling going back and forth, not really directly, but they're both stating their cases for or against the war in Syria. Now, Putin and China have already taken a stand and said there will be repercussions for any U.S. engagement against Syria. Putin has also said that he would be upholding international law. He's also saying that the UN resolutions and law trumps any constitutional law. And this will be explained in detail later why that's important. But you need to key in on that, okay, because it reveals his real motivation behind this. Other Russian officials have hinted that nuclear war is on the table if America attacks Syria. And this is a very real threat. So we need to key in on that as well. Now, why are Putin's statements important to really pay attention to? For two reasons. Out of nowhere, we suddenly have bad relations with Russia. Diplomats are not talking to each other. Putin is making a case to paint America as the bully. Obama, instead of trying to repair relations with Russia, is doing the exact opposite. He is instigating and he's promoting a war on Syria, which would lead to a conflict with Russia. Now, this raises some serious questions, and a couple of those are, why would he be doing that? The simple answer is that he's in bed with the Russians. Remember, he authorized the training of foreign troops, including Russians and Chinese, on our soil in accordance with the UN Charter and FEMA preparedness. So, the next question is, why would they still be here if we are so close to conflict with Russia? It makes no sense other than he's a traitor. And he has allowed these troops in here ahead of time, pre-positioned them, and they are now in a position to give teeth to the threats of Putin. Now, why are Putin's threats really so dangerous? His goal is not upholding international law. His goal is to make a legal case to make war with the United States, and in so doing, demonizing, and he's even said it, our system of government. He says it isn't working. So why would he have troops over here and then make threats to go to war with the United States with the full acceptance of the U.S. government to have these troops here if he did not intend to use them on America? What's the purpose? He's already voiced in a roundabout manner that his purpose is to directly threaten the Constitution of the United States, to remove it, to replace our failing form of government with their own communist-style government. People should think about that for a minute, because there's a lot of people who are jumping on the bandwagon supporting the decision to go fight Syria without even having full knowledge of what's really going on. They're just jumping on the bandwagon saying orders are orders. You need to go. We need to go over there and teach Assad a lesson. He's a criminal. Well, let's get something clear here. For a soldier to fulfill their duty, they have to abide by their oath of office. That oath of office states that they are to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. What does that really mean? That means anybody that directly threatens the Constitution, as Putin has already stated he is doing, is the enemy. It's that simple. So, what would happen if troops submitted to an unlawful order to attack Syria, who has not threatened our Constitution, who has not threatened invasion, nuclear war, or anything? What would happen if they submitted to that order? They would be breaking their oath. It's that simple. If, however, they recognize the danger, the very real danger of foreign troops under the control of a nation and a president of that nation who has threatened us directly and said that he is on the path to not only making war with us, but possibly using nuclear force, and in the end his goal is to remove our failed form of government, that to me is a direct threat on our Constitution, and it's not to be taken lightly. So any service members who are viewing this video need to understand that the real enemy are the Russian troops and Chinese troops that are already here training alongside FEMA. They're the real threat. They're the ones you need to focus on if you want to fulfill your oath to defend the Constitution. They're the ones you need to be prepared mentally to possibly attack without provocation, because they're the ones in position to give this tyrant Putin his teeth and hold America hostage. And that's all I've got. It's that simple. You cannot make this stuff up.